For what purpose does the gentlelady from Tennessee seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to House Resolution 174, I call up H.R. 1076, a bill to prohibit federal funding of National Public Radio and the use of federal funds to acquire radio content.
The clerk will report the title of the bill.
H.R. 1076, a bill to prohibit federal funding of National Public Radio and the use of federal funds to acquire radio content.
Pursuant to House Resolution 174, the bill is considered read. The gentlelady from Tennessee, Ms. Blackburn, the gentleman from California, Mr. Waxman, will each control 30 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlelady from Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield myself such time as I will consume. And, Mr. Speaker, I ask that all members be given 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks on the legislation and to insert extraneous material on the bill.
Without objection, so ordered. The gentlelady from Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of H.R. 1076, a bill to get the federal government and federal taxpayers out of the business of buying radio program they do not agree with. This is a bill that is long overdue. Regardless of what you think of NPR, its programming, or statements by its management, the time has come to cut the umbilical cord from the taxpayer support that has become as predictable as an entitlement program. Much has changed, Mr. Speaker, in the media landscape since the Corporation for Public Broadcasting was first created in 1967, followed by its creation of National Public Radio in 1970. Today, we have multiple listening choices. There's analog radio, digital radio, satellite radio, streaming radio over the internet, and podcasts, both commercial and the self-published variety. Choice and available content is not the problem. If you want to find some content, the only question is where you will find it. In these challenging economic times, committing the taxpayer to fund and support particular content, including content he or she may never listen to, highlights this absurd anachronism of the past. It is time to move forward and let National Public Radio spread its wings and support itself. This legislation does several important things. It prohibits direct federal funding of NPR, National Public Radio, and more importantly, it ensures the American taxpayer will not be funding through their tax dollars radio program from NPR or other outlets with which they may not agree. It is also important to recognize that this bill does not do a few things. It does not defund public radio stations. And I want to repeat that, Mr. Speaker, because I think it is such an important point. It does not defund public radio stations. They still may use federal funding to operate their station or to produce their own programming. Public radio stations may also continue to purchase programming from NPR or other sources, just not with federal taxpayer dollars. And this bill has no impact. I want to repeat that. This bill has no impact on public television. The added benefit of this legislation is that it ensures that if taxpayer dollars are necessary and given to local stations, it will not be used to purchase generic national programming, but instead it can be used to produce local content that actually will meet the needs of the community where these are located. Mr. Speaker, at this time, I want to reserve the balance of my time.